Harsh language from President Trump at the UN today towards China and Iran prompted a sell-off in the U.S. stock market, the U.S. dollar, and crude oil. But gold got a nice bounce. Joining me now, Todd Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com for all your precious metals action. Todd, good to have you back on and break it down for us today.
Danielle, great to be with you. And as we look at the action today, a couple of weeks ago we had that pullback, that breakdown, and we were down around 1495, and that was a real key level. In fact, you and I talked about that specific level. And of course, we've now bounced. So when you look at these markets, okay, it looks like they want to try to test the 1566 level of December futures. They look really solid. And what we've seen now is we're seeing a very bullish look at the pattern. In fact, last Monday, you start to see a little bit of an uptrend, which indicated that there was going to be a breakout to the upside. And sure enough, here we've got it. It's been a little bit of volatile, but I think that, again, we're going to test those highs of 1566 before we do anything. And I think then we have a shot to get to our 1600 target in the next few weeks.
And you know what's interesting, Bubba? I was on the road covering two gold shows, and I mentioned this with my other guests before as well, that I've been hearing such uber calls. I mean, higher than 5,000, higher than 10,000 I've heard 25,000 from people who in the past, were quite conservative, the gold market. It's not people who have always been, rah gold. Do you think we're going to be seeing more of that? And what do you make of it?
Well, I think you always have to look at the agenda of the people that are making those ridiculous calls. Right. I mean, again, could we get there? Certainly. Listen, when I started trading, the Dow was at 800. It's 30,000 today. So could we get there 100%? But certainly, we've got to get through 1,600 first, then we got to get through 17, and then the all-time high first. Is it possible? Yes. Someday I say gold will be trading at 5,000 or 10,000. Again, numbers, it depends on what happens with currencies and how much the Fed steals in currency. That'll give you the more value of gold when we get there. But again, right now, I'm looking at 16. First, I'm looking at 1566, then 1,600, and then we'll see from there.
We're taking it day by day. And just on that note, you mentioned $800 gold. I remember when I started, it was also $800 gold, and talk of $1,000 gold was just like, insane. But tell us your thoughts on silver. People feel really good about silver here.
I always love silver, and that has not changed. And of course, we looked at the Monday's action, and we had that nice breakout from a real tight pattern. To me, we're going to test that 1965 high of December futures and go higher. I mean, I think silver is just waiting to launch, and I think it's going to come sooner than we think it does. But again, it's never going to be easy. But I think it does break out to the upside, and I think it starts to run. And then I think we get back into the 20s, and then we'll look from there. But I think silver looks great. I think the pattern looks great. I think everything about it is really solid, and I think we're going much higher.
All right. How about, let's just conclude the trifecta here with the PGM market. Let's talk platinum and palladium that are just on a tear here, rhodium, as well. How do you see the PGM market?
Well, I think, again, those markets, typically lead or follow the gold and metals markets in general. And again, one of the things about those markets you always have to remember is they're much thinner. Okay, so it takes a lot less action to drive those prices crazy. So, I don't get too actively involved in those because, again, they're not as liquid as I'd like. So sometimes the moves are exaggerated. But again, I think you're seeing a run to the precious metals markets in general. So I think when you look at platinum and rhodium and the others, I think it's going to show and push those significantly higher as well, because people are starting to grab onto all precious metals right now.
All right. Todd Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com. Thank you always.
Thanks.
It's always a pleasure speaking with you, Todd. And we will have much more for you, so be sure to stay tuned to Kitco.com.